much. Our next speaker is Nathaniel Kruger. In our most recent family meeting with the Krugers, I told them if my own son grew up to be like Nathaniel, I would be thrilled, right? He is an amazing young man, and we rely on him at PLC for just about everything.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Kruger. I'm a member at the Princeton Learning Cooperative and would be a sophomore if I was in high school. I've never actually been to public school, nor had any desire to, since a lot of public school students I talk to just hate it. I was homeschooled for most of my life, 1st through 7th grade, and then I went to a private school in Princeton for my 8th grade year. I arrived at the Princeton Learning Cooperative for what would have been my first year of high school, but ended up being my first steps in a whole new world of freedom and responsibilities. I went to a nurse's school for 3 years of my life. I somewhat enjoyed my time there, but when my family decided to start homeschooling my sister, they decided to start homeschooling me as well. My mother remembers that when she first told me I was going to be homeschooled, we were in the car on the way to the nursery school. And I pointed at the school and I said, good. I don't have to go to that school anymore. So at the ripe age of 5, I was already out of school. My first years of homeschooling breezed by in art classes, reading, writing, arithmetic, and just being the young child that I was and playing with my friends. I went to a lot of local homeschool groups where I met new people and had new experiences. However, the older I got, the more academic work I had. I was still interacting with the homeschooling communities, but by 7th grade, most of my homeschooling friends were now in school. I spent a lot of time at home, and I started to lose my drive and commitment to academic work. The next year, my mother was going to start homeschooling, going to work, stop homeschooling. So it was time for me to dive into school, something I was dreading. I started by going to a summer school, where I would later attend in the normal school year. I remember walking into the classroom and just being completely dazed. It was such a surreal experience, sitting down in a desk, surrounded by a bunch of other teens, who didn't really look like they wanted to be there either. I adjusted to the classroom experience, and I started my 8th grade year at the school. I caught on very quickly, and my first report card came back with all A's. According to the school, I was doing very well, but I was completely obsessed over my grades, stressed out and not enjoying the academic work. It would often ruin my entire week if I didn't get 100% on a test or a project. It was just study for the test, study for the test, take the test, and study for the next test. My complete learning experience evolved into getting that perfect score, and I didn't care about any other aspect of my education. So yes, school worked for me, according to the standards set by school. But here I was, not even in high school yet, and losing my mind. That summer, I did attend that summer school program again, but my parents and I were searching for an alternative. That's when they thought of the Princeton Learning Cooperative. My sister had attended PLC for parts of her sophomore and junior years, and it had been a good experience for her. I visited PLC a couple times, and the freedom of it completely blew my mind, as did the friendliness of the members there. I joined PLC in 2013 for what would have been my freshman year, and I took back my life. I took it back from the grades and the stress and the social expectations. I created, with the help of an awesome community, a whole new learning experience. A learning experience that I control, rather than it controlling me. As soon as I joined PLC, I just started exploring different subjects, pursuing my passions, and finding new ones. A big thing for me was being able to go outside. In school, I was just trapped inside, and afterwards I had homework to do. I didn't realize how much I missed the outdoors until I had the freedom to experience them in their entirety once more. As I started to regain this love of learning, I began to find activities that in school had not been fun at all, actually enjoyable. Academic work, it used to be this thing that I dreaded, but my complete attitude changed towards how I felt about it, especially for one particular thing, poetry. I specifically remember in school, whenever I had an assignment relating to poetry, this feeling of loathing rose up inside of me. Here at PLC, I joined a writing workshop, and we were sharing poems. I tried writing some just for fun, and all of a sudden, instead of being some activity that was bothersome, it became a way to express myself. Without anyone forcing me to read or write them, I began to truly appreciate the beauty in poems. I mean, talk about attitude change. I'm not a fan of public speaking, but no one's forcing me to be up here. With this freedom that PLC gave me, I'm able to pursue my passions of fitness and architecture, and just pursue and find new interests, helping to give me an understanding of what I would want to do in the future, finding out what my interests are now, instead of getting to college and having no idea what I want to do, or graduating with a degree in something that I end up not wanting. It's just preparing now, instead of down the road, not knowing what I want to do. PLC has also helped boost my confidence and gain leadership skills. I remember when I first arrived at PLC, I barely said anything at our group meetings. I've now led multiple of these same meetings. PLC has helped me not only with leadership in the community, but leadership in myself, taking charge of my education and my future. No longer am I receiving exact instructions on what to do and when to do it by. Being able to communicate with the volunteers I work with, being able to organize myself, organize a community, these are valuable life skills. Also, the social life at PLC is completely different than being in school or being homeschooled. When I was homeschooled, it was very likely that I would be home for a couple days without seeing anyone besides my immediate family, which is nice, but after a little while it does get a little bit old. In school, 5 days a week, I was surrounded by people. My every move was watched, and I felt very judged. At PLC, it's almost a perfect mix. You're not isolated. On any given day, I guarantee you the common room will be abuzz with friendly chatter. But I feel accepted. And if you need time to yourself, people respect that and aren't always gossiping about it. The Princeton Learning Cooperative and its whole psychology of trust and respect have helped me grow in so many ways. And I am very grateful for the community of support that PLC has given me, as well as the support of my family and my friends. Instead of my main goal in education being to pass a test or get a good grade, which is what it used to be, my goal is to pursue my dreams and to truly appreciate the freedom of choice that makes us human.